Hello everybody, welcome once again to Veterans Talk. Today we're going to go and talk a little bit about toys for tots so we can get this information out so we can possibly get a lot of toys this year hopefully out there. And then at the end of the segment we'll put out some information on some reoccurring events that's happening with the veteran groups here in town. And before we do all that though, let's start out with first of all thanking Francis, Marion, and the county for letting us put these videos out so we can get out to our veterans in the area. I get a lot of feedback from this and it's usually always good because there's a lot of things going on in this area that we need to let them know what's going on.
Yes,
and
sir.
Here today with me I got Jim Williams.
Right.
I was saying it wrong there for a long time, but anyway, Jim is the state commander for Toys for Tots, correct?
Well, I'm the state chairman for Toys for Tots.
Right.
Okay, and I'm responsible to get the other 25 detachments, get their figures and get them going and help them promote Toys for Tots and tell them how to do it.
Well, luckily we got one right here in Florence County that knows all about it, knows what to do, right?
Correct.
All right, well to start with, I guess we'll start from the beginning. If someone wants to give toys to Toys for Tots, what would be the procedures other than maybe the procedures for getting the boxes and all the different things that they can do?
Okay, Toys for Tots, we cover 5 counties. Dillon, Marion, Darlington, Florence, and Williamsburg County. The easiest thing for them to do is get on the website and go to Toys for Tots, check on South Carolina, check on the county that they're in, and then you'll see a list of all the stores that have boxes in them, so that you don't have to come running down to Florence to give us toys. You can find a location right in your own town, and you can deposit the toys there. We got a list of over about 350 stores that handle our Toys for Tot boxes. Right. That's how many we have out in the area.
In this area, in the counties that you just mentioned?
In the 5 counties that I'm speaking of.
Okay, now, so basically, if Joe Blow Smuckatelli wants to give some toys to Toys for Tots or whatever, if they don't see a box already in a store somewhere that they're going to a store, they can either Google or put in toysfortots.com, is it?
Right.
Yeah, and then they'll pull up the website and it'll tell them where the toy boxes are in the area.
That would tell them the state.
Right.
I mean, then they have to hit the state and then they have to hit the county.
Okay, so you go to the state and then the county.
And then that would tell them our list is on there of all the box locations.
Right, okay.
Is out there for them to get to.
Now, what if I owned a small store out in the country somewhere and I wanted to go get a box to put in my store? Where would I go to do that?
Well, the easiest thing is get in touch with us, and we'll bring you the box.
All right. Now, how do they get in touch with you? What would be the number to call?
The number to get in touch with me is 843 753 5164.
Oh, you used to giving that number out to a lot of girls, aren't you?
Yes.
Long
time ago.
Yeah, kind of got choked up a little bit there. But all right, so if they give you a call, they get the boxes. Now, most of the time when these stores put them in the little small stores like the mom and pop stores and things like that, they normally need to bring the boxes back themselves, correct? Because y'all don't have a pickup for them, or you do, or you can schedule
No,
them
once we get a box out, we'll put it on a route, and someone will check it periodically.
Okay.
Unless it's in a church.
Okay.
If it's in a church, we do not check them periodically because we're waiting for the toy boxes to fill up. If the toy boxes get filled, all the toy boxes have a phone number on them. So all I have to do is call the phone number on the box, and we'll get someone out there to pick up the toys out of it right then and there.
Right.
Within 24 hours.
Now, well, can they go by the place over there and pick a box up if they'd like?
Yes, we're on Irby Street. If you remember where the old
the sub-police station was over there at one
well,
time.
I'm going to say Piggly Winn-Dixie.
Winn-Dixie.
Winn-Dixie Shopping Center, where the old Winn-Dixie is.
Across the road from Rose's.
Across the road from Rosa or behind Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Behind Kentucky Fried Chicken.
You pull into Goodies, make a left-hand turn, go down to the far end where the third store up. You do not look up on the headers. You got to look at the store windows and you'll see Toys for Tots.
And a lot of times, as I know, because I've been by there a few times, the door may be locked. Just knock on the door and usually somebody will come to the door.
Right.
Right. And that's also if you maybe have a large donations of toys that you want to give yourself, you could go by there and do that, correct? Okay.
All new toys.
All new toys. No
We only give out new toys, and they have to be unwrapped. We don't want them wrapped because we're going to have to unwrap them, so no sense taking the time. If you want to make a cash donation, we would appreciate a cash donation and save you a lot of time shopping because we're set up, all the coordinators in the state are set up with Toys for Tots and have manufacturers that we can go to. Like for a $20 bill, I can get 5 basketballs or 5 footballs or 5 soccer balls. If you went to a Walmart, you're going to spend $16 to $19 for one.
Right.
So I can get 5 for that price. So if you want to save yourself some shopping and want to make a cash donation, you can make a cash donation to us. If you get the envelope from National, the envelope from National is sent out, and if you make a donation to that, 97 cents out of every dollar that goes to National is used for toys. 3 cents is used for the boxes, the posters, and everything else that we get to put out. But if you give it to us here in Florence, and we send it in, and it goes to headquarters, but we get it back 100% to spend in this area.
Right.
Nothing's taken out of it.
Right. And if you go to nationals, you're not necessarily saying that money's going to come to this area either. That's just going to go nationally.
That's going to go to the national fund,
Right.
and it's going to go all over the country.
But if you come to you, and I think we were talking earlier when we were in the diner earlier, you were saying that you also, not only do you have the boxes, but you have the cans that you can put in the stores where people can make donations
Correct.
into the tank cans.
Right.
Correct. So not only can you pick up a box for the donations, but you can also pick up some of these cans for donations, and that'll do the cash donations to where y'all go out and buy the toys at a real reasonable price.
Right.
No one else is.
Right. We can order them directly from manufacturers.
Right.
And now the other part is there's only 77 more days to Christmas. Okay? And we're 77 more days, so we'll be working for 73 more days. Okay? Not including Sunday. We do not work on Sunday.
Okay.
We are usually open on Saturday. Someone's there on Saturday packing toys. We had to move from the location on the end of the building to another store in the shopping center, which the landlord is giving to us free of charge, but it's a little bit smaller than last year's, so you're going to have to pick up your toys within 48 hours rather than 72 hours.
Right. Now we're talking about the toys that are going out.
Right.
All right. Now, let's say I'm a church or an individual or whatever, and I know someone that may be a neighbor or someone that I know that they're in dire needs, children need some toys and some help. How would I go about getting their names on a list?
Okay, we're already receiving names and we haven't even started. You get on the internet and you go to Toys for Tots. There again, you go to Toys for Tots National, and then that will come up. You go to the county that you're in. We'll cut for the 5 counties that we're covering. We will get it. Our name will come up and our location, and there's an application there for if you want to volunteer for help, if you want toys, or you want whatever you want is on there that you can check it off. What you want to do. We're in dire need of people since we're in the smallest store this year. We're going to have to get these toys out faster. So I need more people to get them in and out and make phone calls to get the people in to pick up their toys. We will start giving out toys on November 1st. Because the size of the store we're in, we cannot keep 20,000 packages on the floor.
Right.
We got to move them out as soon as we get them wrapped up.
Right. Now, don't a lot of the churches and organizations also come in and fill these things out for children and stuff in need in the areas? Or
churches will fill out and will send us in applications for the amount. That's why we had about 12,500 applications last year, but we did 20,000 toys. Now, you say, well, how do you get that? Well, when you have a church coming in and the church has 172 children, I mean, and then that's families, and that's not children. So you may have a family in there with 5 or 6 children. You may have a family there with only 1 child. But when you get that, that's where our figures get up there, from 1,250 applications to 20,000 children is very easy to hit, especially when you're handling churches. We used to do Head Start, but we decided that Head Start were letting people double dip that way. So, and they would wipe us out where we couldn't fill the other applications, because Head Start is all 3 to 5 years old. So 3 to 5 would be wiped out for us, and we'd have to sit there and we can't do any packing because we don't have the toys for it. So we had to do away with Head Start and tell Head Start to tell the people that to fill their applications on the internet, so that we would receive them individually.
Right.
But that's how we get them.
Now, what if I've, and we still do, you know, what if we have someone that doesn't have access to a computer or doesn't have access to, how could they possibly, would they call that number and contact you, or?
Well, they could call and contact me, but the easiest thing is most public libraries have computers in it, and you can go there, and if you don't know how to use a computer, someone in the library does know how to do it, and will help you fill it out.
Right. Now, and the volunteers that we're talking about, now, they're volunteers for what different things do you have to volunteers?
Okay, the first thing we have to do right now, coming up October 1, is we have to get the boxes and canisters out to the stores that have signed up with us. So we got to get those boxes out there. That's something that has to be, once they go out, those boxes, the month of October will be checked every other week. Come November, we'll check them every week. We don't take all the toys out. We take some of the toys out because if we take all the toys out, people think they're waste baskets. So we have to leave toys in them. Our best toys come in late in the campaign, because most people have a budget that they're going to spend on their relatives and friends. And when they get to the point that they've done that, then they'll come out and buy some big toys for us. So the last 2 weeks of December is when we're getting real nice toys in. We get toys in all year. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. When we buy, we usually have a budget of $20,000. We'll get a truckload of toys out of a place up in New England Toy Company, and they'll send us a variety of toys to handle the grouping that we want. The areas that we're usually weak in is newborn to 3-year-olds and 12 years to 16. No one considers those children as children. So, but we have a lot for the 3 to 12.
Right.
But the newborns, we usually run out of toys there. We have to buy toys throughout the season for that, and we have to buy toys for the senior children, the 12 years old and up.
Now, I remember last year when we did this, or the year before when we did it, we were talking about bicycles. There was something special about bicycles. What was that?
Okay, what we do with the bicycles, and you got to take human nature of people coming in. If I was to give a person a bicycle, well, the next person in line want to know why she wasn't getting a bicycle or he wasn't getting a bicycle. So what we do with the bicycles we receive, we turn them over to the county library system. And they have a party in February for all children that have signed up and read so many books. And their names are drawn right there that day. A ticket is drawn out of a hat, and then the child's number is called out, and the child comes up and gets a bicycle. And usually they have helmets for them. They may have gloves for them for riding the bike and stuff. They got training wheels for them if they have to have them. So they get the complete package when they get it through the library. But this is an incentive for the children to go to the library and get books. I happen to believe that reading books or education will stop poverty. Okay? So if so we do it that way. We don't have to fight with anyone. We don't have anyone screaming at us and hollering at us. We take care of 1,200 applications, and out of the 1,200 applications, we get about 200 thank yous. Okay? The rest of them are just turn their back and go out the door with their toys. But and I usually play a game with them when they're coming in. I ask them, who's giving them the toys? And usually where I sit, right behind me, I have a big wall full with the United States Marine Corps Toys for Tots program. And people will roll their eyes and they'll look right at that sign and they'll say, the Salvation Army? And they'll name other things. No, it's Toys for Tots. Not knocking the Salvation Army, they're good. But the reason I do this, and I do it the way, everyone that fills out an application will get toys. All they have to do is present the Social Security cards for the children. And please, put the name that's on the Social Security card on the application, not what you call them at home. Because when we're checking to see who the children are, if they don't match up, we don't know what we're doing.
Right.
Okay? So the name on the application has to be the same name that we need to check the Social Security cards when you come in for it.
Okay.
So, but it's a hard application. We need people to sit up front, do that checking when the people come in. When we call you, we don't call you and say, Mrs. Williams, your package is ready, and just come in and say you're Mrs. Williams. We give them a number because I happen to be a Williams, and my co-chairman's a Williams, and there's 75 William applications come in, okay? So we have to put numbers on them. So the first thing we're going to say, you're no longer Mrs. So-and-so, you're number 179 or you're 180. So that when you come in, that's the package we're going for.
Right. And that's how you keep them separate from the Williamsons.
Right. The Williams and the Smiths and the Joneses.
Joneses, yeah. All right. And once again, you want to give that number out that you gave out earlier for them to contact about maybe putting boxes out or whatever?
843-758-5164.
Okay. And one other thing is that this is a reoccurring event. This happens every year around the same time, and it normally you'll start up. You said earlier October.
October 1.
October 1's when you start up and you get over in your building. You start getting your boxes together, getting them out to. Now every year it usually, as far as this year's for Christmas, usually ends about when?
About 4 days before Christmas.
4 days before Christmas,
Right.
so the 21st, 20th, whenever
Right.
that Friday normally.
We
before
try to
it, right?
get as far, according to what the weekend does, how the weekend goes, we try to keep it as much as we can. I have about 5 or 6 people that come in all year and help us out, and the rest are volunteers, and those 5 people by that time are pretty well burned out, and myself am too. I mean, so give you a real quick history. Toys for Tots started in 1947. And it started because a Marine that was fighting in the Pacific, when he came home, while he was gone, his wife was crocheting Raggedy Ann dolls. And she had about 150 of them. She said to him, we got to find a way to get rid of these dolls. So at that time, he was with the Marine Reserve in San Diego. He was in charge of it. So he got together with the Marines there, and they would refurbish used toys and stuff to get them out. This went on until the end of the Korean War. When Vietnam broke out, they didn't have enough manpower for the Marine Corps Reserve to do it, and they opened it up to outside coordinators. Now, I'm in a uniform. I'm in the Marine Corps League. And so a lot of Marine Corps leagues are the coordinators for Toys for Tots. There's, at this time, there must be 700 coordinators in the country. The reserves are still involved in it, but in a limited basis. Most of it is being done by Marine Corps League members.
Okay.
But it started in 1947. In 1947, if you go back, President Truman was trying to get rid of the Navy and the Marine Corps. And at the present moment, they're still trying to get rid of the Marine Corps, okay? And they want to merge us in with the Army, but we're giving them a hard time. I credit John Wayne and Toys for Tots with saving the Marine Corps back in 1947. Because in 47, he came out with Sands of Iwo Jima, and that was a big thing. But Toys for Tots is something that people get to see every year. And they recognize that it's the Marine Corps that's involved with it. So but it goes back to 1947. So it's been going on quite a few years.
That's right. So we've got all the information that we need to know here. We know that if we have any questions, we can either look at this video, which will be on FlorenceCountyVeteranAffairs.com. It's on a website that we have you can go watch this video again, or you can Google Toys for Tots. You'll go to the state, then to the county.
No, you go to national, then the state.
National, then the state.
Then county.
Then national, state, then county.
Right. No matter what county you're in. If you're not in our counties, it's going to tell you the guy up in Bennettsville. It's going to tell you that. If the guy in Bishopville, it's going to tell you who he is.
Right. And if you want to give a cash donation to the toys, 100% goes to the toys if you donate it locally. If you donate it nationally, 97% goes to the toys, 3% goes to boxes and postage.
Right.
All right. And this is a reoccurring event every year.
Since 1947.
All right. Well, while we're talking about reoccurring events, before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to put out?
No, that's mostly it.
Okay. I'll talk about a couple of other reoccurring events that we have that go on with our veterans here in Florence County and all counties as far as that goes. Some of them may be particular to our county because of the cemetery. And one of them is Wreaths Across America. That's also a Christmas time of year thing. It's already started up. It lasts all the way up until, I think it's the middle of December or something like that. That's when they do it, and it's every year. If you would like to participate in Wreaths Across America, if you have a loved one that's buried in a national cemetery that you would like to put an individual wreath for, whatever the case may be, you can contact the National Cemetery and talk with Miss Carolyn there or one of the personnel that work there at the cemetery. And the phone number there is 843-669-8783. The next thing I'd like to talk about that's going to come up even before that is Veterans Day. Veterans Day every year is the same time, same place. It's on the 11th of November, on the 11th hour at the Veterans Park. They'll have a veteran ceremony. I think this particular year, usually each year so far, we've had a new monument that we've put into the Veterans Park. This year, they're trying to do one I understand is from the Air Force is what they're trying to get. I hope everything's going on that. And this year, well, I think last year we had the Navy and the Coast Guard, and this year they're trying to do the Air Force. The other ceremony that goes on every year, once again, this involves the cemetery, is Memorial Day. Every year on Memorial Day around 10, they have a ceremony at the National Cemetery for Memorial Day, and that's usually a very good ceremony.
Yes.
And the last thing I'd like to put out, one thing that we do need help with still, there's a van that leaves out of Florence here that goes to Columbia that takes our veterans back and forth from their appointments to the doctors in Columbia. We're in desperate need of drivers. You do not have to be a veteran to drive these vans. All you need to do is go to the senior center and go in there and tell them you would like to be a driver for the van. The van is controlled by the DAV. It's not controlled by my office at all. It's controlled by the DAV in the senior center. But they definitely need drivers, so if you feel like something that you would like to do to help our veterans here in the area, that would be a good thing to do right there, is driving that van. And you do get a free meal out of it, I understand, but that's about it. Other than that, it's just the kindness of your heart.
But it's a full day.
It's a full day. Yes, it is. It's a full day. I think you have to be there like 7 in the morning, 7:30, and you get back maybe about 4 or 5.
Correct.
So it's a full day, and so as you can tell, we definitely need volunteers for that. And once again, for any of these organizations, phone numbers for people, phone numbers for Toys for Tots, phone numbers for the Marine Corps League, the VFW, all the different organizations, you can go to the FlorenceCountyVeteranAffairs.com, and they're all listed under the resource, as long as they keep me with the local, the latest and greatest numbers, because sometimes these organizations change their commanders and stuff. But we try to keep that up. And once again, I'd like to thank Francis Marin and Mr. Williams here for coming out and sharing this things with Toys for Tots, and I appreciate everything that you do.
One thing for you on your van, the van driver has to have just a regular license. He doesn't have to have a professional license. It's a van. It's not a bus.
That's right. It doesn't carry the amount, I think it's over 15 you've got to have a commercial license, but this van is down to the number that anyone with a regular driver's license can drive it. That's a very good point there. Very good. All right, and thank you all once again for watching this show today.
Thank you. Thank you. Francis Marion,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.